The first gubernatorial election in New York's history took place in June of 1777. The Revolutionary War was in full swing as the Declaration of Independence was signed 1 year prior in 1776. The battles of Saratoga, the major turning point for the Americans, wouldn't happen for another 3 months, leaving many doubtful of the Revolution's chances of success. As well, New York was known as a hub for Loyalists, and New York City had been occupied by the British for 9 months. It would remain so for the next 6 years. There wouldn't even be political parties in the state for another 15 years, so everyone running did so as an independent. Keep in mind, there were also no running mates at this time. Candidates were run separately for each office. Here were the major ones. From Little Britain, New York, in Orange County, coming in at only 38 years old, its Continental Congress delegate and future 2-term vice president, Brigadier General George Clinton. Clinton was a radical who hated Tories and actually called for the assassination of King George. He was a veteran of the French and Indian War and a leading figure of the Revolution. From Albany, New York, in Albany County, coming in at a spry 44 years old, its Continental Congress delegate and future 2-term senator, Major General Philip John Schuyler. A business magnate from a rich family, Schuyler fell in with the establishment, but believed in an offensive approach to the war, personally planning the disastrous invasion of Quebec. From New York City, New York County, coming in at 47 years old, its future Continental Congress delegate and Yale graduate, Brigadier General John Morin Scott. And finally, from New York City, New York County, coming in at only 32 years old, its founding father, Continental Congress delegate, future Chief Justice, Secretary of State, Minister to Spain, and President of the Continental Congress, Colonel John Jay. Also running but not considered serious contenders, Albany slave trader Philip Livingston, and New York City founding father Robert the Chancellor Livingston. And for Lieutenant Governor, George Clinton. Yeah, he ran for both. Kinda cheeky, George. 56-year-old New York City aristocrat and future general Colonel Pierre Van Cortlandt. And finally, 43-year-old New York City Continental Congress delegate, wealthy trader, and future mayor of Albany, Abraham Ten Brook. The New York City Committee of Safety, a shadow government of patriots that had been unofficially running the colony after the British lost influence, endorsed Philip Schuyler for governor and George Clinton for lieutenant governor. And the results. For governor, George Clinton won, receiving 48% of the vote. Schuyler came in second, with 32%. Scott and Jay both ended up with 10%. Philip and Robert Livingston both received less than 1% of the vote. And for lieutenant governor, George Clinton, with 47% of the vote. Van Cortlandt came in second with 31%, and Ten Brook landed 21%. After waiting to be relieved of his military duties, George Clinton took the oath of office on July 30th, 1777, becoming the first governor of New York. He immediately resigned the lieutenant governorship, and as president pro tempore of the New York State Senate, Pierre Van Cortlandt ended up as acting lieutenant governor until a special election was held, electing him as official lieutenant governor. He took the oath of office on June 30th, 1778. This election was dominated by military officers, and there weren't really many issues, the appeal of the candidates being mostly personal. The average age of the 4 major candidates was 40 years old. 3,774 people voted in this election, approximately 1% of New York's population at the time.